Their friend had been brutally attacked and murdered overnight. She was deceased. When officers and medical responders arrived, there was no chance at resuscitating her. This is a violent fugitive that is now being held accountable.
At the end of the day, we lost both parents. It felt like my heart got ripped out of my chest. Iffy, but I never would think that he would ever lay his hands on my mom, of all people.
She was always so forgiving, and she would have made a brilliant surgeon. She had every bit of ability, aptitude, and clinical judgment that you would need to do that. She was just vibrant, really kind, really tolerant, had a lot of ambition. She was basically full of life.
In a tragic and shocking incident, the body of 42-year-old Dr. Samantha Woolery was discovered inside her Marietta apartment early Sunday morning. The Marietta Police Department has confirmed that she had been stabbed multiple times, resulting in a brutal and untimely death. Dr. Samantha Woolery, a dedicated mother of two and a recent medical school graduate, had a bright future ahead of her, making the circumstances of her death all the more heartbreaking. The gruesome discovery was made by Samantha's co-workers. Concerned when she didn't show up for work, they decided to check on her well-being. Upon arriving at her apartment, they found the door unlocked.
The victim did not show up for work this morning. Her coworkers became concerned and drove here to come check on her. When they arrived, the door was unlocked.
With growing apprehension, they entered and were met with a horrifying scene: Samantha's lifeless body, marked with multiple stab wounds. The scene was deeply distressing for those who found her, and they immediately contacted the authorities.
Their friend had been brutally attacked and murdered overnight. She was deceased. When officers and medical responders arrived, there was no chance at resuscitating her.
Marietta police arrived promptly, cordoning off the area and starting their investigation. They discovered crucial pieces of evidence, including a bloody machete, a trail of blood, and a fingerprint at the scene of the crime. These pieces of evidence were critical in piecing together what had happened during the night. Authorities believe the attack occurred overnight, and the evidence collected from the scene is currently under thorough examination by the Marietta police. They are working diligently to piece together the events that led to this tragic incident. The investigation took a significant turn when police identified Samantha's ex-husband, 49-year-old Mickey Woolery, as the prime suspect. Mickey Woolery, her ex-husband, was quickly apprehended by police.
He attempted to flee out of the back of the home and run from those officers and was later apprehended in a wooded area behind the home. This is a violent fugitive that is now being held accountable.
Court records from Hamilton County, Indiana, show that Mickey Woolery was charged with felony domestic battery in 2002, though the case was later dismissed. Now, he faces charges of felony aggravated assault and aggravated battery in connection with Samantha's death. These charges reflect the severity of his actions and the premeditated nature of the attack. In the aftermath of this tragedy, those who knew Samantha are left to reflect on the time they shared with her and the impact she had on their lives. Umano Iko, still healing from the loss of her best friend, remembers the moments they spent together and the dreams they had for the future.
She's one of a kind lady. She's that friend that just is always present. She feels everything you feel. She's always there to support you without judgment.
Samantha's legacy as a kind, vibrant, and dedicated individual will live on in the hearts of those who knew and loved her. As the investigation continues, the community remains hopeful that justice will be served for Dr. Samantha Woolery. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a heartbreaking story to share. In a tragic and shocking incident, 42-year-old Dr. Samantha Woolery was brutally killed inside her Marietta apartment early Sunday morning. The Marietta Police Department has confirmed that she had been stabbed multiple times, leading to a brutal and untimely death. Dr. Samantha Woolery, known for her kind spirit and exceptional ability to connect with others, was set to begin her categorical residency at Morehouse School of Medicine. Her loss is profoundly felt within the medical community. She had recently graduated from medical school and was poised to make significant contributions to the field of medicine. Dr. Samantha was a dedicated mother of two. Her co-workers discovered her body after she didn't show up for work, which was highly unusual for Dr. Banton-Woolery. Concerned about her sudden absence, they decided to visit her apartment to check on her well-being. With a sense of dread, they cautiously entered the apartment, only to be met with a horrifying scene. Samantha's lifeless body lay inside, bearing multiple stab wounds. The sight was deeply distressing, and they immediately contacted the authorities. They called 911. The Marietta police arrived quickly and took control of the situation. They secured the scene to preserve any potential evidence and began a thorough investigation. As the investigation progressed, the evidence soon pointed to Samantha's ex-husband, 49-year-old Mickey Woolery, as the prime suspect. Mickey Woolery was last seen with Samantha Woolery on camera, captured in footage that has become a crucial piece of evidence in the investigation into her tragic death. The footage is being meticulously analyzed by investigators to piece together the events leading up to the fatal incident, shedding light on Mickey's actions and movements during that critical time frame. This visual evidence forms a pivotal part of the effort to uncover the truth and bring justice. Utilizing advanced technology, including license plate readers, the authorities tracked Woolery's movements and located him in Indiana. When local police approached the house where he was staying, Woolery attempted to escape by fleeing out the back. However, officers were prepared and quickly apprehended him after a brief pursuit. With his arrest, the Marietta police took a significant step toward seeking justice for Samantha Woolery. This violent fugitive is now in custody and will be held accountable for his actions. Woolery now faces renewed legal scrutiny with charges of felony aggravated assault and aggravated battery in connection with Samantha's untimely death. These charges signify the severity of the alleged offenses, suggesting a deliberate and malicious intent behind the attack. The legal proceedings will likely delve into the details of the incident, aiming to establish accountability and seek justice for Samantha Woolery. The progression of these charges against Woolery highlights the gravity of the situation and the legal system's commitment to addressing acts of violence, especially those resulting in tragic losses like Samantha's. As the case unfolds, further details from court proceedings and investigations may shed additional light on the events leading up to this devastating outcome. Her friend Aisha Gordon expressed profound sadness and grief about her.
I think everyone kind of knew that Sammy and I were a duo. I just lost my voice because I couldn't hold back the pain of it all.
Aisha and Samantha were pursuing their medical careers together.
She would always give her ex-husband the time. She would always listen, no matter what their ups and downs were. She was always so forgiving, and I have a lot of love for surgery, and I think that rubbed off on her. And she would have made a brilliant surgeon. She had every bit of ability, aptitude, and clinical judgment that you would need to do that. She was just vibrant, really kind, really tolerant, had a lot of ambition. She was basically full of life and an absolute pleasure to have spent 35 years with.
Samantha leaves behind her two beloved children, 14-year-old Josiah and 18-year-old Naima, who are now grappling with the devastating loss of their mother.
And she never failed to let me know how much she loved me and how proud she was of me.
The impact on Naima has been particularly profound. Overwhelmed with grief and anger, she is struggling to come to terms with the horrifying reality that her father is the primary suspect in her mother's murder.
I want people to hear my mom's story, because at the end of the day, she accomplished so much and she was a victim. My mom did not deserve this. She was an amazing person and such a hard worker, and everybody that knew her could say the exact same.
In the wake of this tragedy, Naima has channeled her emotions into action.
I kind of had an idea, but I just didn't want to believe it because I'd never known him to I knew that my mom and my dad were kind of iffy, but I never would think that he would ever lay his hands on my mom.
Naima revealed that her father had a violent past and that she had personally filed a protective order against him 2 years ago in the state of Indiana. The Marietta Police Department has confirmed that neither of the couple's children were present during the brutal attack on their mother. This revelation has provided some measure of relief amidst the overwhelming grief, knowing that they were spared from witnessing the horrific event. In the wake of her mother's tragic and untimely death, Naima has taken it upon herself to honor Samantha's memory and seek justice. Many have rallied around Naima and Josiah, offering their condolences, support, and contributions. Naima's efforts not only serve to honor her mother's legacy but also to raise awareness about the broader issues of domestic violence and its devastating impact on families. Through her courageous actions, Naima hopes to ensure that her mother's story is remembered and that justice is achieved. She has initiated an online fundraiser aimed at honoring her mother's memory and seeking justice. Through this campaign, Naima hopes to gather support from the community and beyond, ensuring that her mother's tragic story is not forgotten and that justice is pursued relentlessly. She has shared heartfelt messages and memories of her mother on the fundraising page, painting a picture of a dedicated, loving, and inspiring woman whose life was tragically cut short. The community has been deeply impacted by the devastating loss of Dr. Samantha Woolery. Residents, such as Richard Rappa and many others, have been profoundly affected, expressing a mix of shock, grief, and deep sorrow upon hearing of the tragic incident that unfolded in their tightly knit neighborhood.
We were getting ready to return our U-Haul, and we just saw that big commotion. We picked this community in particular because it's always gated and a nice community for the area, so this is like a big shock.
The news has reverberated through the community, leaving an atmosphere of sadness and disbelief as people grapple with the abrupt and senseless loss of someone who was cherished and respected among them.
There's cameras everywhere, and then I also stay on the 3rd floor, so nobody wants to come to the 3rd floor and do anything. I usually feel safe in this neighborhood, in this complex, or else I wouldn't be here so long, but it's just not. It's somewhere I want to be for a couple days, especially being a female that lives alone.
Dr. Samantha Woolery's presence and contributions to the neighborhood were significant, making her passing even more difficult to comprehend. Her tragic death has not only left a void in the hearts of those who knew her but has also highlighted the fragility of life and the unpredictability of tragedy. The shock and grief reverberate throughout both the local community and the medical community, underscoring the profound loss of a compassionate caregiver and promising young doctor. The memory of Dr. Samantha Woolery will continue to be cherished and honored by all those whose lives she touched. Before embarking on her journey to become a doctor, she devoted 9 years of her life as a registered nurse at Ashkenazi Hospital in Indianapolis. During this time, her dedication to patient care and her compassionate demeanor earned her admiration and respect from colleagues and patients alike. Known for her unwavering commitment to improving the lives of others, Samantha's role as a nurse laid a strong foundation for her future aspirations in medicine. Driven by a deep-seated passion to make a greater impact in healthcare, Samantha made the pivotal decision to move to Georgia to pursue her dream of becoming a doctor. Her transition from nursing to medicine was fueled by a desire to expand her capabilities and contribute more significantly to patient care. Her decision to pursue a medical degree was a natural progression of her commitment to excellence and service in healthcare. Samantha's compassionate nature and dedication to her profession continued to shine brightly as she embarked on her path towards becoming a physician. Her journey from nurse to doctor exemplifies her resilience, determination, and unwavering passion for healing others, a legacy that continues to inspire those who knew and worked alongside her. The Marietta Police Department has made a steadfast commitment to ensuring justice for the tragic death of Dr. Samantha Woolery. They are diligently working to hold accountable the individual responsible for this heinous act. The loss of Samantha has deeply impacted the community and all who were fortunate to know her. Her memory will be cherished as a testament to her kindness. The pursuit of justice in her case reflects not only the severity of the crime but also the collective resolve to honor her legacy and provide closure for her loved ones. Samantha's closest friend, Umano Iko, along with other colleagues who shared a deep bond with her, have conveyed their profound sorrow and disbelief in the wake of her tragic passing.
She's that friend that just always present.
Umano, who first met Samantha during their time in medical school, vividly remembers the dreams and aspirations they once shared.
She feels everything you feel. She's always there to support you without judgment.
Both passionate about medicine and eager to make a difference in patients' lives, they had envisioned a future where they would practice medicine together, supporting and inspiring each other along the way. Woolery's sister from Indiana expressed her struggle to comprehend the events, emphasizing that the couple had no history of domestic violence. Umano and their shared colleagues are grappling with the stark reality that these cherished dreams have been abruptly shattered. The loss of Samantha has left a void not only in their personal lives but also in the medical community they both cherished. Their grief is a testament to the impact Samantha had on those around her and the enduring legacy she leaves behind as a caring friend and aspiring physician. Her memory will be cherished as a dedicated healthcare professional and a compassionate individual who touched the lives of many. We extend our thoughts and support to all those affected by this heartbreaking loss.